Welcome to Laurie's Little Studio. I'm Laurie, and today we're going to look at two fabrics, and I'm going to use both of these to make my sister a couple pair of shorts off of this PJ pattern. She likes the comfort and the ease. I mean, we're both too old to really care about fashion, but I do add a pocket for her. She's a real fan of a back pocket, and this is the pattern that I used the last time I made this for her. So she recently asked me if I would make her a pair of shorts, and I went crazy buying fabric. So let's start with this one. They're both Stitch and Sparkle, which you can get on Amazon, but I think they have their own store. I am not sponsored by them. There's no affiliation whatsoever. I just like their fabrics. Now her favorite color, and I'll just say her name because that'll make it easier. Caroline's favorite color is green. So I decided to go with this cute little print right here. I think these little tossed flowers will make for a really cute pair of shorts, and they'll be easy to make because I don't have to match anything. I bought extra just in case she wanted something else. It was on sale, and they are 100% cotton, and it feels exactly like quilting cotton. So this is one pair. I think she'll be really pleased with that. She loves blue as well. This very whimsical daisy on blue. They're more like anemones. They're not exactly daisies, but the fabric is actually very lightweight. It feels it doesn't have the Liberty feel, but you could almost go with, it's almost there. It's almost a Liberty hand is what it feels like. But as you can see, the name right here. Now this one I think does have a one-way design, so when I cut it out I'll have to be really careful. I ordered 3 yards of this and 3 yards of this, but the shorts pattern in her size requires between 3 and 4 yards. I knew I had a second pattern. So this is the pocket, and this is the pattern that I'm going to use. I have exactly what I need, and the shorts pattern, in her size range, the shorts on this particular pattern take 1 3/4 yards of 45-inch fabric, or 60-inch fabric is 1 3/8 yard. Please excuse the noise in the background. It's a fan. We're in a heat wave right now. Okay, I have made all my notes that I needed to make for my sister's shorts, and it only requires the use of piece 13 and piece 14. I don't know what this is. I think this is excess pattern paper. And in my case, a pocket, and this pocket was sized for her phone. So we've got the seam allowances, and the thing of it is, when you make a pocket that is going to hold something specific like her phone, you want to make sure that it's wide enough and that it's deep enough to keep the phone within the pocket. Okay, we have all of our pattern pieces. I've made my notes in my notebook, and I've got her inseam and waist information, and my pocket, which is designed for her cell phone. It's similar in size to mine, so I'll just show you. You want to make sure, and I put mine in my pocket this way so that my handle thing will stick out. She lives on a farm. I say a farm, it's more of a cattle ranch with one horse. They have cattle, they have hay, they have tractors, they have all, you know, a pond and all this stuff. So she's always busy, she's always doing something, and it is always possible that her phone could fall out. So we went with this size, and it's been 2 years, I think, since I made this, and she has not had any trouble. And I need to turn the I need to turn the ceiling fan off. Wow. Because number one, it's blowing the pattern all over the place, and number two, I'm sure it's interfering with the audio. So let me go take care of that real quick. Now clearly this edge here is the selvage, so the selvages are folded together. The fabric is right side out. I may not have mentioned this, but the pants and shorts have a bow that is just attached to the front, and I think that's to help you differentiate front from back when you're actually wearing them. However, I have pockets on the back, and I can put a loop or something in the back, and that will help Caroline orient what is front and what is back. But if you wanted to put it on there, it's this bow right here, and it's piece number 15. I'm not going to be using that. So we will take piece 13, and I'm going to use the top cut line. I'm not going to offset it. I'm just going to use that as the cut line, and pin this down. If you have a larger surface or a bigger room, you could get away with using weights because it's two pieces and they're not too complicated. Now if you've cut your pieces and you've removed the patterns and suddenly you realize, oh, I didn't do the landmarks, I call these landmarks, then all you have to do is just put the pattern piece back on top and just snip into the fabric within the seam allowance. So if it's a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, make sure you don't cut beyond 5/8 of an inch when you're making that little snip. Or you can take a friction ink pen and just put a little mark right here. Make sure it goes through to the other side, so that as you're sewing you can say, okay, this is where this goes, this is where that goes. Trust me, you will be a lot happier if you do that. Now, when I'm making pants, I don't care if it's a print fabric, a wool fabric, a tweed fabric, I don't care what it is, and these I'm just going to consider pants. On the inside, on the wrong side of the fabric, I write F on the top, and it seems redundant to have to write B on this one, except that if for some reason you press this, for whatever reason, if you press the waistband down or however, you will have at least something preserved to help you remember as you're going along. And I also need to put the pockets on before I do anything else, and they go on the back. So the directions for the pocket are not McCall's directions, they're my directions. So I need to get my fabric back and cut out 2 pockets, and you basically cut a 7.5 inch long by a 6 inch wide with a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the pocket. I recommend that you press it so that when you're stitching it, you'll have a nice clean edge. And I can leave my fabric folded because I just need 2 pieces, and I'm going to cut it from the selvage edge, not the folded edge. Okay. And I don't think there are any other markings that need to be transferred to this fabric. The thing is, it's getting close to 2:30, and if you know me, you know at 2:30, most of the time, I talk to my sister on the phone. So I need to go take care of that. So I will see you when I come back. It is the next day, and I have gotten 1 pocket pressed the way I need it to be pressed to stitch it. So the first thing I'm going to do is stitch along this area that's folded in all the way around the pocket. Okay. Next, I'm going to fold the top down like this and stitch just on the sides. And I'm going to back up and then cut my thread. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I would go ahead and clip anything you see, any threads or anything, because once they're stitched to the pocket, or once they're stitched to the back of the shorts, that will be harder to do. Okay, and then as you can see, this little fold here is forcing this edge to fold in. After I press I will stitch this down. So I'll have a little bit of top stitching right across here. But that's the only thing that I'm going to stitch before I put the pocket on the shorts. Okay, so I did stitch the top of the pocket edge down, and I think I'm going to do a decorative stitch. However, I do need to change the foot if I'm going to do that. So let me remove this T foot and go get the A foot. Down, okay. And it is basically invisible, but she'll know it. She'll be able to see it. Other people won't, unless they're looking somewhere where they shouldn't be. But there's the stitch, and it gives this top edge a little bit of stability. Okay, so the next step is to do the other pocket, and when I come back, we will be putting them on the back of the shorts. The next thing I do before I stitch this down on the second pocket is I measure the two pockets against each other to see about the size. Okay, so here's where they're even with each other. And now I can fold up the bottom of the first pocket that I made. I had not done that. I just wanted to mention that that's how I get the pockets the same size from top to bottom. So there you've got the tops lined up, and then you've got the second pocket bottom folded up. Oh, you can't even see that. There we go. Folded up and pressed down. This one I did not press down. I'm just going to fold it up until it is even with the second pocket, and that's that measurement right there. I'm going to go ahead and press this fabric because I want it flat while I'm stitching it. We're going to stitch the front to the back at the crotch inside leg seams. That's the very first thing we're going to do. Need to mark these as fronts. So we're going to match that notch right there and stitch this leg seam together. So we have one back and one front, and one back and one front. This is the back and this is the front on this side. Now I want to make sure that these notches on the side match up before I go any farther. Yep. So at this point I can go ahead and stitch this crotch seam right here. This is twisted under, get that straightened out. So this inside leg crotch seam right here. This right here. From the top of the edge of the pants around to the top edge of the pants. And you're probably thinking, well, what happened to the pockets? I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and trim the two seams that I've done. so that I don't have any raw, well, I will have raw edges, but they're going to be pinked. But as you can see, this is what we've got. The first seam that we did, the two, and then this together, attaching the fronts to the backs. I'm not going to clip where I reinforced because that's too close to the edge of the fabric. Now we can turn these this way. So we've got two backs. I don't know if you can see that. I'll move you down. So we have back and we have back. And then we have two fronts on front, front and front. I want to make sure that I'm far enough away from the side seams and I'm far enough away from the top of the shorts. Okay, my husband gave me these a long time ago and I've been trimming off of them and using the denim for other things. So this is where, whatever brand this is, I can't read it on here anymore. Adam. Here's where you've got your side seam and how far it is from the waist. So I'm going to use these measurements and come up, I mean these pockets are clearly much bigger than this pocket. So I've got to consider that, and then I will figure out where these go and apply them to the back of these shorts. There we go. Make sure you don't have the other side tucked under. That has happened to me before. And back up to reinforce the top. And there's your pocket. Okay, I'm going to stitch the second pocket on, and then when I come back, we're going to stitch these two side seams. So we'll have the basic body of the shorts put together. Alright, the pockets are in place on the backs right here. I haven't pressed them yet. I figure I'll just do all that in one go. But next we're going to do the side seams on these pajama shorts that are everyday wear shorts for my sister. Alright. And you can pin or clip this if you wish. I will clip this seam and then go to the ironing board and press. And when I come back, I think we're hemming next. We're either hemming or, no. Next, we're going to do, we're going to do the waistband. They are elastic waist. I mean, this is great. It's a pair of PJ shorts with pockets. It doesn't get much better than that. You could even put side pockets in if you wanted to. However, our next move is to put the waistband in, insert the elastic, and then do the hem. And they're done. That's how simple a pair of shorts is. So, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from the ironing board. I pressed down the top edge of my shorts, and I'm going to get my elastic and do that measurement and make sure that, I believe it's supposed to be 1 inch folded down. I'll go back and check the pattern. But I want to make sure that everything is going to fit okay. I can't stand having to take stitches out. So I would much prefer to check first. I thought I was recording. A half an hour of pretend recording, I guess. Okay, so I have folded this down. I've pressed all of my seams open because for me personally, if I don't do that, it will drive me crazy. And it looks so much better on this side when that seam is pressed open. Okay, and then I measured my elastic. This is non-roll elastic, and it is not going to roll because I'm going to, like I always do in the side seams, the leg side seams, once I get the elastic inserted and it's all in there, it's all tucked in, I'll go back and stitch the elastic down in the side seams. Not the front and back crotch seams, just the side seams. Okay, then I measured my elastic and I brought this over and I marked it with my air erase pen right here where I need to keep this folded down. Once I find my glass head pins, I'm going to go over to the ironing board and pin this down and press it and make sure it's the same. Fold it all the way around. I'll pin and press, or actually press and pin, press and pin. And then I'll come over and stitch down from about here and here. I'll leave this part open to insert my elastic. So I need a pin for that, which is right here. So unless you have a bodkin, and I can't find my bodkin, and I don't think even if I found, oh, I think I know where it is. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. Yeah, right here. But I don't think my elastic will fit through that opening. No, it won't. So, needles. Okay, so, wow, I totally forgot that. I found this kit when I was looking for something to help me install the wallpaper downstairs yesterday. I don't remember what it was, but I found this and just set it aside because I didn't want to stop what I was doing. But that's my next step, is to go to the ironing board with my glass head pins, press this down, pin it, stitch it, and insert the elastic. And that's what I will do when I come back. It's a whole new day, and I have not been able to find my glass head pins. I honestly don't know what happened to them. So I will pin or clip this down and press it, and when I come back, we're going to stitch it, like I said, from here to here, here to here, so we have an opening that we can put the elastic through in. And then we'll finish that off and hem them. Once the elastic is in the waistband, the section here, just cover it with that fabric and stitch it just like you did the first time when you went around, and attach the waistband to the shorts like this. When you don't attach the waistband, what am I trying to say? When you folded the waistband over and stitched it down the first time. On the side seam, you're going to stitch down that seam right there. Just straight down in the ditch. That'll keep the elastic from curling up. So you go to the inside leg seam. Make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, this is 7 inches right here. I'm also using this line over here. And I'm looking at my ruler to make sure that this is even all the way across. I'm going to hold it as tightly as I can. Roll it under, so I'll have the first roll and then another roll up to that line right there. And I'm not going to cut any off. I don't think that's a good idea. It was a Chewy delivery for Bama. And this is what, oh, I don't even think you can see it. Maybe you can. There you go. That's what it looks like. All right, now, because I've done one leg, I've got to look at the other leg and make sure that I get it in that same spot. All right, and your shorts are done. What I plan to do is press these to remove the heat erase ink and just make them look nice. And then I'll start on the second pair, which will be out of this fabric. Also Stitch and Sparkle. So there we have it, McCall's M2476. I wrote view D on here because there's no view for this, the shorts. But I think at some point I'm going to make view C. I might make it a little bit longer. I think she's wearing view C. And I don't know, maybe a little bit longer. Or view A a little bit shorter. I don't know. We'll see. Because we have this one coming up, I did go ahead and get the fringe. I'm going to try it on the dress. I keep saying that because that's what they call it. Dress View B. You can't see it on the front, but it is right here on the back. So we'll make that out of this with this around the bottom edge in our next video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.